All right, I am trying this new service called something StreamYard. We'll see how this goes. Good morning, I'm Coach Kim. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about Transformational Tuesdays, I'm calling them. So Tuesdays have typically not been my favorite day of the week. I don't know why. I guess it's because Monday's over, even though Mondays aren't usually the best days, I guess, for most people. But I like Mondays because I have scheduled my Mondays to be very low as far as the amount of work I have to do. So I use it to catch up on stuff or go on a bike ride or whatever it is. So if I am doing that, then I guess Tuesday becomes my Monday. So I want to think about how can I transform Tuesdays. And when I was thinking about this morning, I thought about, of course, the cocoon or the caterpillar in the cocoon turning into a butterfly. And I was reading about that, and many of you probably know this, but what basically happens is that the whole caterpillar dissolves into this mushy goo kind of stuff. And it keeps these pieces of it that basically is the DNA, I guess, the memory of what it is and what it's turning into. And so over time, it then begins to reform as a butterfly. And what I guess this symbolizes to me is that transformations are not easy. And so if we're going to transform stuff, it's usually intentional. Then my question became, though, if I'm going to transform something in my life, is it something that I choose or is it something that chooses me? Does stuff just show up that needs to be transformed and worked through and let go of because that's what I need to work on? And is it something that I can say, I'm going to work on this and transform it? And I'm guessing it's a little bit of both. I know for me, there are definitely things that show up that I did not choose. And I had to either deal with it finally and let it transform and move, or there's been other situations where I choose things. So as a business owner and as a business coach, my question is, what are you looking to transform either in your life or your business? Maybe it's your financial world. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it is, finding the right customers, or maybe it's rebuilding your business through this pandemic in a way that really is what you want to create in the world, and it's what you want to put out there. So when we get clear about what we want to transform, how do we do that? What becomes the process? So for me, when I started thinking about this, I was thinking about an example that I have of my life. I like to kind of look at where I've done certain things or haven't done certain things, and then how did they work? So when I look over kind of the, 8 years of my life, there were these 3 relationships that I was in. And every one of those relationships ended in a pretty painful way. The last one that ended, I guess each time one ended, I learned a lot of things about myself. But the last one that ended of the 3, I remember just kind of sitting there one day and saying, okay, so what am I not getting that I need to get? Because I keep repeating the same patterns. I was typically in similar relationships over and over and over again. Same issues were coming up over and over and over again. And what that told me was there's something that I need to work on and heal. And I wasn't doing that. So what is it I need to do? So I started looking into that. And what I discovered for myself was there was a lot of old sadness and grief from kind of just old stuff that I had not processed and I had not really dealt with. I had run from, and I was realizing I was using relationships to continue to run from those things. So as this 3rd one ended, that became my focus. And I got very clear that I really wanted to transform this. I wanted to move out of, my cat's getting ready to jump on my desk. So I wanted to move out of a place where I was continuously showing up into the same problem. So my process became feeling whatever was coming up. So as the pain of these breakups brought up old grief, could I just process it and feel it and move through it and allow allow that to heal? And if I could, what would that mean? How would that change things in the future? Could I possibly stop these patterns? And so I spent probably a good 6 months or so doing that. And it was not easy, and it did not feel good. I have to say, it wasn't the most fun thing to do. But I also knew it was really important, kind of in the midst of it. And there was also this deep sense of like gratitude, freedom, contentment that was kind of in the base of this grief, that because I hadn't processed it and hadn't felt it, I really had never known that before. So as I did this work and I just stayed with those feelings and I did a lot of journaling and what was coming up and thinking about it and processing that and connecting dots, for my life and how this old stuff even affected other areas of my life, I started to release it. And then what ends up happening is that I met somebody who is totally different from all those people. And we don't have the same problems. And the same issues don't come up in as big a way. Now, if they pop up, they're little things that we work on. But they were very dramatic before. There's 3 other relationships. And for whatever reason with this person, they're not. They're just they're there. And I'm aware, but we can work through them and I can process them better, talk about them. And I am very clear in believing that this person showed up because I had worked through all that stuff. So that's an example of transformation. It's not a fast process. It's not necessarily an easy process. It can be a bit painful. But when you move from being a caterpillar to a butterfly, it's totally worth it. And I've worked on other areas of my life with this too. So I would say for my financial world, I just took this motivators assessment yesterday through my company, Action Coach, and it's one of the new things that I have to offer clients. And so anyway, I took it to see what are my motivators. And what I realized my motivators are not is money. I am not motivated by money. So, with a lot of businesses, people are, we're motivated to hit a goal, make more money, that sort of thing. That doesn't motivate me. It's weird. Now, I did grow up in a household with a lot of money. My dad was a very successful entrepreneur, and so that's probably part of it. I didn't feel the need to create it. I just had it. So I was lucky that way. However, the downside to that has been I don't tend to really respect money. It comes and then I easily spend it. Or I easily spend it on other people. And that's what I've done a lot of, is sharing my money a lot, which is great, but not great when you don't have that much to share. So, but I got to a point where, and this was several years ago, 5 years ago now, I was sick of not making any money or making enough money. And I had also run my debt up. So I got in this pattern of running debt up, paying it off, running it up, paying it off. And it finally got to a point, and it would kind of go like this, boop, 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 boop. So it kind of got to a point where the debt was too high to just pay off. Sorry, my cat is like very curious about my breakfast. Come here, Petal. So I got to a point where I couldn't pay it off. So I decided at that point that this, again, was ridiculous. I was tired of these same problems showing up. And what was that about? So I decided to kind of transform this issue, right? So I started looking again at what are the underlying emotional issues that are creating these financial challenges. And what I realized was, for me, the challenges were all about valuing myself. So how can I learn how to value myself better? When I learned how to value myself better and did a process, I stopped running up debt. I paid off most of my debt, and my income has skyrocketed. So those things all work together, which was really interesting to me. And that was another way of transforming. And again, it wasn't easy. It was quite painful. It was a lot of work. So this all brings me back to the question that I asked earlier. What are you wanting to transform in your life? Maybe it's, a weight issue that you've had forever and ever and ever, and you're sick of it and you want to transform it. Maybe it's a financial issue. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's getting your business finally to the place where you want it to be. and stop hovering around a certain amount. I'm a big believer that we're the ceiling of our businesses. And so if I'm not growing and pushing myself, my business will not continue to grow because it can't. I'm the ceiling. So I have to grow myself personally and professionally. So what does that look like? So if you really want to transform your business, then we have to look into something else that says, what is that? Hi, Jim. How are you? I just saw his message. So then we have to work on ourselves. And being a business owner is one of those things that is so hard in a lot of ways. And it's been really hard the last, 5-6 months for sure, but it's always been hard. I always say that, being an entrepreneur is what's going to challenge you to improve yourself more than anything else, except for maybe being a parent. And it's basically like having a kid because you are creating something from nothing most of the time, and you're trying to help it grow in a healthy way. And if you do it well, lots of good things happen. If we don't do it well, then it can be really, really challenging. And what happens is every button that we have gets triggered as an entrepreneur. So money issues, relationship issues, communication issues, worth issues, value issues, all that stuff gets triggered when we're trying to build a business. So if you want to transform your business, you have to look at yourself and you have to say, okay, I keep having cash flow problems. What's the underlying issue? What's the underlying emotional issue that I have not worked through or healed to actually transform that? Or I keep having profit problems. Same thing. What's the underlying issue? I keep having, team problems. I keep hiring people and then they disappear, and I hire people and they disappear. How are you doing this? What's happening underneath? What is the emotional reason that you can't keep good team members? Because it's always about us. Life is a mirror. Everything is a mirror. Your relationships is a mirror. Your business is a mirror. Anything you need to work on is going to show up. So for Transformational Tuesday, think about that. What is the thing that I know I can work on to really start leapfrogging ahead with my business? And there's usually one big thing. And if you need any help figuring it out, let me know. This is fun for me. I love doing this kind of stuff. I'd be happy to help. And yeah, just think about that for today. Come up with a list of the top maybe 2-3 things you want to transform. Pick one. Don't try to do them all at the same time. What I found is I'll work on relationship stuff for a while, right? Get that sort of figured out. Work on financial stuff for a while. Work on health stuff for a while. It's like it all kind of jumps around. And then I'll cycle back through. So something else will start to fall or slip, and then I work on that. At some point, I'm guessing they all kind of rise together, but it takes a while. So hope that's helpful. I just realized I didn't spell executive right. This is a new service. Did I say that? Oh my gosh, my cat's going to eat my sausage. All right, I better run. Have a great Tuesday, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.